Hey, I've got a quick question for you. How many of you like to play the game Follow the Leader? When I was a kid, Follow the Leader was a very simple game. And the reason I think we liked it so much in my neighborhood is because the rules were extremely simple. One person was the leader, and everybody else had to follow that leader as closely as they could. If they did a cartwheel, we did a cartwheel. If they climbed a tree, we would climb a tree. If they gave a handshake or a high five, we had to do the same. And although the rules were simple, sometimes it was really hard to follow the leader, especially if that leader was much older and wiser than us. Maybe they had more skills or abilities than we did. Sometimes following the leader was very difficult. And although the rules were simple, following that leader could be tricky. Did you know that every day we are challenged to live like Jesus? As a matter of fact, if you call yourself a Christian, you're literally a Christ follower. That means you're to follow the example of Jesus every single day. While Jesus was here on earth, he did a lot of things. But one of the things that Jesus was most known for was creating peace. You see, Jesus knew that peace with others was extremely important. Today's Bible story is going to point to exactly this very thing about what it means to have peace. But before we get there, I want to read Romans chapter 12, verse 18. And it says this: "If possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone." Today, we're going to start our story with a big move, something that many of us know. When you move, you have to pack a lot of things. Check out today's story about Abraham and Isaac and a very important move.
There was a famine in the land where Isaac lived, and food and water were difficult to find. So he decided to move south. In the Philistine town of Gerar, the Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Don't go down to Egypt, even though you will be a foreigner. Stay in this land." God promised to be with Isaac and to bless him in the foreign land. God reminded Isaac of the promise that he had made to Isaac's father, Abraham. God promised to make Isaac's family as numerous as the stars in the sky. So Isaac settled in Gerar. Because God blessed him, Isaac became rich. He had sheep, cattle, and many servants. The Philistines were jealous of all that he had, so they filled Isaac's well with dirt to stop the water. "You are too rich and powerful," Abimelech, king of the Philistines, told Isaac. "Leave this land." So Isaac left the town and moved to the valley of Gerar. He reopened the water wells that his father Abraham had dug. Then Isaac's workers dug in the valley and found more water. But the Philistine herdsmen argued that the water was theirs. "This water is ours," they cried. Isaac moved away and dug another well. This time, no one argued about the well. Isaac named the well Rehoboth, which means open spaces. He said, "Now the Lord has made room for us, and we will be fruitful in the land." Isaac went up to the town of Beersheba. That very night, God told Isaac, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, because I am with you. I will bless you." Sometime later, Isaac was surprised to see King Abimelech. The king said, "I see that God is with you. Let's promise each other that you will not hurt us, and we will not hurt you." Isaac responded by preparing a banquet for Abimelech and his men. The next morning, they promised not to harm one another, and the Philistines left in peace. That very day, Isaac's workers found water.
How do you think Isaac felt when his neighbors, the people he thought he could trust, started filling his wells with dirt? Well, he was probably angry, maybe even a little frustrated. I know that I would have. However, Isaac chose to obey God and live at peace with his neighbors. Choosing peace is very important. You know, it's important for us to obey God and to follow the example of Jesus, because Jesus is our leader and we're to follow him. If someone disagreed with Jesus, he didn't yell at them. He simply explained what God's plan was for their life. And sometimes they understood and sometimes they didn't. Jesus loved to talk to people and hear how he could encourage them to follow God's plan, even when it was difficult. Even though it can be really hard to get along with people at times, choosing peace is always the best answer. This is part of God's plan for your life, is that you become a peacemaker. Blessed are those who make peace, said Jesus in the Bible. Today I want you to think about the world that we live in. There are so many ways to be angry and so many people to be upset with. Can you choose to love and listen to those people, even when they frustrate you or you disagree with them? After all, Jesus loved people, and his greatest commandments were that we love God and we love others. Part of loving God and loving others means that we create peace. So today, the next time you think of being frustrated or angry at someone, try to find peace. After all, that's how Jesus lived his life, and that's how God wants you to enjoy his goodness.